Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We are here with our certified divorce coach and owner of Crown Coaching, Miss Liesel Darby, joining us here again today to talk more about the work she does, helping you assemble your divorce team, and amongst all the work that she does in helping people getting through some of the most challenging times in their lives. So we are honored to have her back here. My Divorce Diva, that's another nickname of hers, and that's also her website. So once again, that's mydivorcediva.com, based out of Cleveland, Ohio. She's helping so many, though, with Crown Coaching all over. So, Liesel, welcome back. Give us a little insight into who you are and what you do, just in case there's new people out there saying, Divorce Diva, what's that all about?
Hi, Jill. I'm happy to be here again. So I am an alternative dispute resolution certified divorce coach. I've been doing this for a while, recently certified though. And my whole thing is to help people get through this difficult phase of their lives with as much grace and dignity as possible, with as little conflict as possible, so that they can go on and find the joy that actually does still exist in their lives.
Wow. Well, I love the work you're doing and the conversations we had, and really this alternative dispute resolution coach at what you do and how you're helping so many, manage divorce and the benefits to working with someone like you. We'll talk a little more about that in a sec, but for today, we're going to start our focus with the beginning of it all, right? Which is kind of assembling the divorce team. Yeah. So why do you need a divorce team to get started? And what does your divorce team consist of? Thank you.
Yeah, this is a big thing because most people think, just give me my divorce attorney and let's go. I just want to get this done. I don't want to spend a lot of money. What are you talking about? A team? I don't even want to think about that. But I want to talk about who can be really beneficial to you as you go through this process that can help you get as much information as you need so that you can go through your negotiations and, working with your mediator or your divorce attorney, and be in a strong position, because knowledge is power, right? And you don't know everything. Nobody knows everything. So there's some experts along the way that can help you to really make good decisions as you're making these big life decisions that have some far-reaching repercussions and impacts. And again, you don't know what you don't know. So the people I'm going to talk about today, it's kind of a list. And I don't want you to think that you need to get every single one of these people on your divorce team, but I can guarantee you that there are probably several that you do.
Oh, yeah. So we're talking someone like yourself, an attorney, mediator, who else? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more.
There's a list. So let's start first. This is kind of go a little bit circular. So a lot of people, when they start, if they're just in the pre-contemplation stage, they haven't actually filed for divorce, but they're thinking about it, this is where actually having a divorce coach can be really helpful to you, because they can help you decide which process would be a best fit for you. Because a lot of people, they're just give me the attorneys. Yeah. That's what people do, right? They go to trial and the judge decides. There's a whole continuum of different ways to get divorced. From, if you had something really simple, let's say you haven't been married very long, there's no kids involved, you don't have a lot of property or assets to divvy up, you might be fine just sitting at the kitchen table and making your agreements. And I know there's these kits, for $139 you can get divorced, or, you can make your agreement, you can go down to the courthouse, pay your fee and done. But again, you don't know what you don't know. So if you have anything more complicated than that, that might not be the right thing for you. Mm-hmm. So the next step up would be a divorce mediator. Okay. You have a lot more control. You still have the control, but it's still not as expensive if you went to trial. Oh. But you got to know if your partner is a suitable candidate, if you're both suitable candidates to make that happen. So anyway, I'm not going to go through the whole continuum, but a divorce coach can go through that with you and help you decide which would be best for you before you even start. Now, once you figure out which path you're going to go on, and let's say you're going to do mediation, I always tell my clients, get an attorney anyway, just for consulting. If you have a legal question that comes up, you have somebody who will answer your emails, answer your phone calls, and then you can move on. You can take that to mediation with that information that you have. And again, come from a position of power. If you're going to work with a divorce attorney, again, working with a divorce coach can help you effectively work with that attorney in the most efficient way so that you're not spending a lot of time and dollars with somebody that you don't have to do that. You can save your money that way too. So yeah, a divorce coach is a good person to have on your team from the very beginning. The next person I think would be really helpful is to talk to a certified divorce lending professional.
I didn't know what these initials were. I couldn't wait to find out. I'm like CDLP, CD.
Yeah, that's a lending.
Okay, tell me.
That's a lending profession. So one of the biggest assets that a married couple probably has is their house. And a lot of times, you don't know what you're going to do with the house. And a lot of times somebody wants to stay there. Then the reasons might be, I want stability for the kids. I don't want to disrupt their lives any more than necessary. Or I love my house. I spent decades decorating it or whatever. I want to stay in the house. You probably should talk to a mortgage broker, not just who has your mortgage now, but go to a mortgage broker, because they can give you a good idea of, can you afford to stay in your house? Because let's say you bought your house, a while ago when interest rates were like 2.5%, and now they're not. You have to take into consideration what your new payment would be, because you would have to most likely refinance if you're both on the deed. But they can also, a mortgage broker has access to all kinds of programs, not specific to just like State Farm or Wells Fargo or whoever you might have your mortgage with. They have access to all kinds of programs that you might not even know exist. I've talked to women before, they're like, but I was a stay-at-home mom. I don't have a work history. I don't have my own credit score. I can't even stay. I couldn't buy a new house. You would be surprised at the kinds of programs that exist that can help with all of that. And even you both as a couple might want to go and talk to a broker, because if somebody is going to leave the house and they're having to go find something else and they don't know what they would qualify for, go get these answers. Let them run the numbers and the scenarios for you so that you know what you're going to do with the house, because that's one of your biggest pieces there.
Never heard of that. All right. What's the next?
I have a certified divorce real estate expert.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
There are real estate agents who have gotten specialized divorce training, and it's whether you use somebody who's not certified in that or they are, it's the same cost to you. So seek out somebody who has this designation, because they've spent a lot of time and money going through a program that helps them. One of the best things I think they do is they know how to communicate with couples who are splitting up. As far as going through that whole process, they're sensitive to some of the issues that come up, with the kids and what kind of neighborhoods and all these different things. They've spent a lot of time getting trained on that. Okay, next one is a certified divorce financial analyst. This is somebody you want to talk to if you need to get some more in-depth information about your financial picture. Please go. If you have anything that you think might be complicated at all, maybe there's family business, maybe there's several rental properties, maybe there's lots of stock, or all different kinds of things. Spend some time with a financial analyst, a certified divorce financial analyst. They have been trained, again, certified to deal with the divorce issues that people will deal with when they're going through this process. And they can really help you figure out your financial position. Again, knowledge is power. So you can go into your negotiations, your mediation, talking to your attorney, and know what you're dealing with so that you can make good decisions. Next one is a therapist. Okay, I have plenty of clients who have been referred by their therapist to work with a divorce coach, because they don't happen to have the specialized, kind of realm of knowledge that they think might be helpful to their clients. And a therapist is really good. Like if you're having some depression or anxiety or some other things like that you're working on, maybe you're on some medication and you need somebody to kind of monitor with that. Because a coach is really here and now and going forward. We're not doing therapy. But also think about your kids. Your kids could probably use a safe person to talk about their feelings as they go through this and help them adjust to this major life change and make that whole process go smoother too. So you might want to think about that. Related a little bit to that, you might want to talk to a parenting specialist.
Okay.
I'm throwing out a lot of people here. You don't have to use all of them. It's just kind of so you know that these people exist if you need them. But maybe you're having trouble coming up with a parenting plan that's age appropriate for your kids. Somebody like this can help. They can help with a lot of things, communication with your ex, just different things. They're available. A tax accountant. This might come up like, let's say, I know this has happened before. If you sell a house as a married couple, and I think there's a $500,000 threshold that you have up to $500,000 before you have to pay taxes on it, a special kind of tax on that, as a married couple. But let's say you split up and then you have the house and then you decide a couple years you want to sell your house. And if you, let's say you don't meet that, now your threshold is $250,000 as a single person. If you had just decided to sell the house a couple of years ago while you were still married, you would have saved a bunch of money. So, there's other different tax things, but you need to know what you're getting into when you're making financial decisions.
Oh yeah. Now you may not need all of them as well, right? But still, there's more on the list that you may. Not. You're right. Yeah.
Just a couple more, and we can move on to something else. You might need a forensic accountant. Like, let's say you have some suspicions that your spouse hasn't been exactly honest with what all the income is or where it is, or maybe that you think there's other accounts that you don't know about. Because a lot of times one person is in charge of the finances and the other one is kind of clueless. And maybe you want somebody to kind of track down and see if there's other money that you don't know about. So you might want to, again, you don't know what you don't know. So I was talking, one of the scenario came up where somebody thought that they knew that their spouse had a side business that was all cash. And she was thinking about hiring a forensic accountant to track all this down because she wanted to get all the money she could. And I said, well, was your name on the tax on your, when you did the taxes, was your name on those? She's like, well, yeah. So you might want to think about that for a minute before you start digging things up, because you could be liable for some things too. So just things to think about that you might have no ideas coming up. And then last but not least is a divorce coach. Like I said, this kind of goes full circle. A divorce coach can help you with lots of things all through this process. And I think we're going to talk about that in a little bit. We'll circle back around.
All right. Thank you. Now, you might say, well, isn't this going to cost more money to have all these team members involved? What would you say?
Yes. Short answer. But I want you to be thinking about the long game and have the big picture in mind. Because, you're going to spend some money for some of these professionals, but you're getting your knowledge, and that gives you power, right? So you might find out some things with your financial picture that had you not known it, you would have given it away in a divorce and not even known it. That's why a certified divorce financial analyst is so important. That's why talking to a mortgage broker, is so important, because you don't want to walk into negotiations. I mean, you're making big life decisions. This is what I always say. You don't want to be making these out of anger or fear. Your fear is unanswered questions, right? So get your questions answered so that you know what you're talking about when you come into these. Whether you're doing negotiations through mediation, you know what you're talking about. You know what you're worth. Okay, I really want this, but I know also the worth over here, and I'm willing to trade this off, or I'm not willing to trade this off. You need to have these answers, because otherwise, like I say, you don't know what you don't know. And you could be leaving lots of money on the table that you could have negotiated for, or, even just known that you were entitled to.
Wow. And, this is, obviously the best interest for you. And by the way, we've talked about this. I've never been personally, but divorces can get ugly, get muddy, get really bad. And I have a friend right now that's dealing with one after 7 years, and she's not leaving his house, even though there's an order for her to sign the papers to buy him out. She's avoiding it. And it's just like their poor little daughter that's involved. And think about the children involved here. And it's so sad sometimes what does go on and what happens. And it really, someone who has, like yourself, all this knowledge from all aspects. Yes, maybe you're not an attorney, you're not a tax accountant, you're not a therapist, but you have been around all these people. You've seen every scenario. I'm thinking divorce coach makes perfect sense. So really, you mentioned, it's a great investment.
Yeah, and I think that's a good way to look at it, is it's an investment. So yeah, you're putting some money in up front, but you're going to get, your return on investment comes a little bit later. And we're talking about even after your divorce is finalized, because that's when your orders are in place, and that's when, the rest of your life starts. And you want to have as much of a good financial outcome as you can. You want to have as good of a mental health outcome as you can. You want the kids to be, as good as they can be. And, experts they're there for a reason. They're there to help you. And yeah, they're not going to work for free. Nobody's asking anybody to work for free. But are you going to be better off in the long run because you have talked to them and gotten some really good advice and gotten your numbers and know what things are worth and what you are willing to fight for and what you're willing to let go? Or, what are your bargaining chips here? It all comes into play. And so, I think people, especially if they're in a really bad situation, they're just like, I just want this done. Just give me, just let me sign something. I just want to go on. And that's just when you have to kind of take a deep breath and step back and say, okay, this is going to be a process. It will get done at some point, but I also want to make sure things are fair and equitable and in the best interest of the kids. And there's people out there who can help me do that when maybe I don't know what I'm doing. And if you haven't been divorced, you don't know what you're doing. Yeah. And maybe you've been divorced more than one time, you still might not know what you're doing because it's different circumstances, right?
Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, let's remind everyone before we continue about, why having someone like yourself, you in particular, would be a really great investment. I just want people to be able to reach out to you and contact you. Could you share all the ways?
Yes. To contact me, or how I help them. Okay. So the ways that I can help you is, like I said, I can help you work more effectively and efficiently with your attorney, so you save time and money that way. I guarantee you, any investment you put into a divorce coach will save you time and at least that much time and money right off the bat. Okay, I can help you prepare for negotiations and in making your proposals, because we can think about all the different aspects that go into that. I can help reality test that for you, especially like with parenting plans. Think about how would this actually play out. A lot of times people think, oh, I want the kids all the time. That's what I'm going to fight for, is full custody of the kids. And we can say, what would that really look like? You work full time. What's that really going to look like? And we go through the scenarios. We talk through that. Can help you, help you manage your emotions, right? Because again, don't want you going and making big decisions when you're in fear or worry or, rage. Some people are out for revenge. This is not what this is about. We want to get you back so you can make some logical, good decisions. If you're going to go to court, I can help you prepare for that. There's different aspects about that. One of the big things I do as an ADR certified divorce coach is help you manage the conflict and not eliminate it, because it's going to be there, but how do you engage in it productively so that, again, you don't get stuck and you can continue to move forward and make these good decisions. And if you're having problems communicating with your ex, like if it's just a really difficult thing, I can help you get that so you can get your life back. Because I've talked to women, they've said, I spend hours a day just responding to his emails and his texts, and it's just harassing. And like, I can help you get rid of that. That's a big thing. And again, just having a divorce coach can help you save costs overall on your divorce. It's counterintuitive, but I can help you do that.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, our divorce diva, giving us the nitty and gritty today. And, it's like, yeah, that communication, oof, I know it can get ugly and get nasty. It's funny, the person I was talking to you about before was going through a divorce. Obviously, there's two of them, both have their attorneys. She's on her third attorney at this point. So that says a lot. Yes and no, but it's like, oh my goodness, when you can sit down, mediate, and just get it together, because time will pass, it'll get better. And one other thing I want to point out, about you, clearly you're unique, you're awesome, but is the fact that you're also coaching people through this. You're also, after this part's over, you're helping them guide, the way to a new life, a new path, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's the big thing. Is I know divorce, when you're going through it, it seems like this is your entire life. It consumes you. It's like the big black cloud that's following you around. It will not go away. It doesn't last forever. This is a moment in time, and there is another side to it, and you will get through this. However, on the other side, now you've got a brand new life, right?
Yeah.
So divorce is an ending, but it is also a beginning. And if you look at it that way, it can be exciting, because now you have a blank page and you can start writing whatever you want. You can be making new decisions. Sometimes you're astounded at the kinds of decisions that you get to make by yourself now for what you want. And you don't have to ask somebody else, and you don't have to get somebody else's permission, quote unquote, to make big bad boss moves, right? You can start doing that. And I tell you what, the independence, when you find your independence and you get your feet back under you, is wonderful. So it's not all doom and gloom, although it can feel like it when you're in the thick of the ick. But I can help you get to the other side of that.
Awesome. We love that about you. And you've also been divorced, right? Am I allowed to say that? We've talked about it. Okay. So that makes you, I think, clearly, clearly can empathize. You've been there, you've seen it, you've done it. Let me just ask, what is the longest divorce you've ever seen go on for?
Oh, I know some women who are still going through it, 6 years. And it's still not done. That's not typical.
Okay.
That's when you have a really, really hardcore, they're dealing with a narcissist, like a diagnosable narcissist, who those kinds of exes are out to destroy their partner. It's not enough that they get divorced. They don't want to get divorced because that means they lose control over their partner. And they don't care how much money they spend, and they are really out to destroy their partner. Those are really damaging. You need a lot of support to get through those. It's really hard. But you know what? Most divorces are not like that. They're not.
Good. And there is hope after. There's light at the end of that tunnel. How did you want to leave off for today? What words of wisdom, words of advice do you want to share with us?
You know what? I'm always going to go back to my favorite quote. Just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, she turned into a butterfly. Right? I love that because of the metamorphosis part, about just the change, just about the, things do get better. Things change, they can look bleak, and then there you are, taking off on your wings. And I just love that imagery, and that's my favorite quote.
Beautiful. And just curious, is there different tiered packages that you offer to work with you, or once you sign up, you work with that person for a certain amount of time? How do you, assess all of that? Or some people might just want to work with you for a little bit for advice, right?
Yeah. So I do two different ways. The way I suggest is do the 4-pack.
Okay.
Do 4 sessions, because I give you a price break on that, and you're really not going to get much out of just a single session. You need to, there's a lot here, right? There's a lot to talk about, and to get the value out of it, you need to spend a little bit of time. You can also do a one-off if you need to do that, but that's really, I recommend that if you've done the 4-pack, and you might do a 4-pack 3 times, and then as things calm down and you get a better grip on this, then use a one-off if you would need that, maybe just to check in if it's been a while. But yeah, those I keep it simple. Those are the two ways right now that you can work with me, and I love what I do.
Clearly it emanates, it shows. Love speaking with you. I love getting to talk to you every week, and hope we'll be back next week. Are we, Liesel?
I will be.
Awesome.
Yes, I am.
Crown Coaching, guys, mydivorcediva.com. Reach out, check in with her, and there is light after the tunnel. Thanks again. Have a fantastic day. And to all of our viewers and listeners, please stay tuned. We'll be right back after this break. Don't go anywhere.
Divorce sucks. Whether you're in the guilty, fear-inducing contemplation stage, the emotional, exhausting, thick of the ick, or struggling with how to peacefully move on post-divorce, you deserve your best life. I'm Liesel Darby, owner of Crown Coaching, LLC, and an alternative dispute resolution certified divorce coach. It's all about communicating well through conflict. My clients gain the clarity and confidence to make strategic decisions, proposals, and negotiations that will best serve them. Put your crown on. You can find me at mydivorcediva.com.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge?
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend?
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.